So here we are today. We're going to replace the actuator motors on a 2011 Toyota Tacoma. The instruments, the tools you will need are going to be door panel removal tools that you can pick up at a hardware store or at an auto parts store just to remove the inner panel. The actual motor, replacement motor, there's two styles. There's a short shaft, which is 10 millimeters. There's a long shaft, which is 20. This one actually has a flat shaft on it, as you can see right there. So you want to make sure you can get those on Amazon or eBay. If you don't know which ones that are, just buy them both. They're $30 for the pair, or for four, should I say. You'll also need a 27 millimeter torque wrench, which is to pull out those little screws there, which is the actuator, which is what we're going after. You'll also need a 10 millimeter socket with an extension on it. There's a screw in here that actually goes to the window shaft track that we have to sort of loosen at one end to get the actuator out. And then you need a variety of screwdrivers, a small Phillips, a flathead, a medium Phillips, and then I also use an awl to pull the motor. So, to remove the inside door panel, I'm assuming a lot of you already know how to do this. On the Tacoma, there's two screws, one there, one inside the door, little handle right down there. You pull that one out, that screw, the handle comes right out. Put that off to the side. Then you have this little panel up here on the side of the door, runs here, which is this, which has four little pegs on it. All you do is just pretty much pop that out. You can use a little tool or just get your finger behind it and they pop out pretty easily. There also is a little peg, which is this one here, that actually just goes right in here, and it sort of sits like this. If you push the inside little peg with an awl, it will open up and pop right out. Then you go about and you loosen up everything, all the little pegs, these pegs here, I don't know if you can see them right here. They pop into the holes, and all they do is with that little tool, you just pop them in and out. And now I'm going to go ahead and remove the door so you can see that. Okay, so with everything popped, all you're going to do is just lift the door straight up, the inside panel. And then as you see, there's a plug on the inside right back here that we have to undo to get out. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got that out. And getting that little peg out, you have to depress this little piece right here, and it'll pop right out. So that's all you have to do there. So the next thing we're going to do is remove the actual door handle. What you do with that is there is a little peg on the back side, which you really can't see, but it's behind this piece here. And what you do is you sort of push it in a little bit, and then the whole thing will slide out. That's the little peg I was pushing in. I got my screwdriver behind it, pushed it in, and it popped right out. After that, we're going to remove the wires that are connected to it that actually go to the door actuator, which is this piece back here. So to remove these wires, all you do is just pop the white and the green, and just remember that the white is to the lock itself, so that's going to be on the top. As the wires go down here, they're going to crisscross, so the top will actually go to the bottom, that will go to the top. So this is easy to do. This is just a little round peg that goes right inside there. This one will go around this little piece here and slide right out. That's the lock. So next, we're going to take this sticky tar stuff off, which is just like your interior sealant to protect everything. And you're going to fold it back. These little wires go into this peg. You're going to undo that and just slide them out. Okay, so next we're going to start to remove the actuator. First thing we're going to do is remove this electrical peg. Push that little peg down and this slides out real easily. Okay, then we're going to take off this little rubber piece down here. And if you look inside there, there's a screw, a little bolt that is 10 millimeter in size. So I have my 10 millimeter ratchet with an extension on it, and we're going to remove this. This actually connects to the window track, which we need to loosen up to allow the actuator to fall down and get over that and come on out. So there's my screw. Okay, so next we're going to remove these 3 torque screws with a 27 millimeter head, and then that will loosen up the actuator and we will pull the actuator out. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so as you see, we removed the 3 screws that were in there, and now we're going to drop the actuator down. And as this 10 millimeter bolt that we pulled out here actually connects to this right here, which is actually the door channel, window channel, to allow the window to go up and down. So we have to go around that with the actuator in order to get it out. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the actuator out now. Okay, so I have the actuator. One important part is this little piece right here. Actually, when putting the actuator back up, has to go in between this little white thing here that you see. There's a little groove, and you can see my finger. That little metal piece has to go between that because that actually actuates the door from the outside. So when you pull on the handle, this moves and unlocks the door. Okay, so what we're going to do now is actually remove the motor that is actually inside here. So this motor is going to be inside this little pouch. First thing we're going to do is remove this little outside cover, which is held on just by little clips, and it comes off real easily. It comes off here and around this back side, and then there's one on this one that just pops up and comes off. Still going. So now we're going to remove the cables. Green on the bottom, white on the top to the actual door handle. These actually just go in and out, straight down and out. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the 7 screws to open up the clamshell. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then one on the back side for 7. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those, and then we will take the clamshell off and open up the motor. Alright, so the next thing, all the screws are out, so now we're going to remove this white clamshell to lift it open to find my motor. The first thing you want to do is there's a little clip on this back side. It's really not a clip, it's like a little bump. So if you put this in there and slide this out, this whole piece will slide out as soon as I undo this one. Oops. There it goes. So there's a little clip. You get the clip on the bottom, and this little piece will pull right out. And that's the little clip I'm talking about. It's not a clip, it's just more like a dent. You sort of have to drop it down, and it falls into that little piece right there. So now the next thing to do is to undo all these little clips around the whole thing, and it'll be the whole actuator, and it'll be like a little clamshell, and we'll open it up, and the motor will be inside. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be back in 1 minute. Okay. So I've undid all the clips, and as you can tell, it's like a clamshell, so you're going to open it up. You want to be careful that you don't move too quickly, because if this falls off and if this stuff over here falls off, then you're going to have to try to rebuild it by pulling the other one apart to actually see it. The main one is this little spring right here. You do not want to mess up or have it come out. So here's your motor that we're going to take out. All I did was get an awl, put it behind it, and lift up, and the little motor will come right out. So here's the motor. Here's my replacement motor. So all you do is just pull the shaft off and make sure that it's the same as the one we have here, which it is. Remove the old motor and put the shaft back on here, and as you can tell, it's flat, so you sort of have to rotate the little gear so it finds the shaft and then push it on. Again, then we're going to replace the motor into this little piece. You want to make sure that the pegs align with these pegs here. Oops. So we're going to put that in now. Go. So we're going to input that in right there. And it clips in. So I know my motor and everything are together. So now what we're going to do is just pretty much put everything back together. I'm going to put the clamshell on. The part with putting the clamshell on is you want to make sure that this hole that we took the screw out of lines up, because as you see there's a gap right here that's actually going to go between this and this, so it sits in between like that. This is going to sit on top like that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So this will fit in there. Okay, so my clamshell is back on, and now I'm going to go back and put in the 7 screws that we originally took out. Okay, so now I have the clamshell and everything back in position and the screws in, so I'm going to reconnect my wires. The blue part is real easy. You slide it down and bring it over, and it clips in right there. And the same thing with the other blue one. Is this one is easier. You just go straight down. Do that again. Straight down and just bend it to the side. It doesn't bend, but it'll fall in, and then you just clip it in. Okay, so now we're going to put the actuator back now that it's ready. Put the wires through first and let them stick out. Then the actuator itself will go up, remembering that you have to get it behind that little bar that is on the inside. Now I have it in, and I'm making sure that that little white piece again is going in between the actuator as I'm bringing it up. There's the actuator, there's the little white bar. I can feel it on the back side. You might not be able to see it, but it's right here between the two little white. And then you want to make sure that this sticks out. And your little child lock thing, you have to make sure that that's sticking out here too, so you don't smash that, which is this little piece right here. So the next step is we're going to put in our 3 torque screws and our 10mm window shaft crank channel screw in. I'll do that and then I'll be right back. So what we're going to do now is reattach the inside door handle. So it's relatively easy. The little hook goes down and around and hooks into there. And the green one, you don't want to hook that yet. The green one will do the same. It's just going to drop right inside that little round part there and come down. And again, that'll hook into the green, and the white will hook into the white. Putting this in is real simple. This side first just slides right in. The little peg is going to go into the hole. So you hold this up and push it into the hole. And we're in. So we're going to plug in for the door actuator, which is down here. So we're just going to plug that right in and make sure that our clips are in the little sockets here, the little guide wires. That one goes there, that one goes there. They cross, which is fine. This little plastic sheeting goes over. I just get a little bit of this stuff and stick it here to get that seal. This one goes over the top. I'll put a little bit there. And then you just follow it and put it all back up. So now we have a completed door, and we are going to give it a try right now to make sure that it works. Okay, so everything's finished. I haven't put the door panel on yet because I want to make sure that it does work. So I'm going to close the door and it opens, and now I'm going to lock it and it locks. And then that locks. So I have success in doing that. The only things that I could really say is I went in to have this checked to find out what the problem was, and they wanted $2,100 to fix all 4 locks. I bought the parts, the little motor, off of eBay and Amazon, and I paid $30 for all of them, and 2 hours of my time, and I have fixed my doors. You're just going to put the door panel on the same way that you took it off. Be careful with the pegs so you don't pop them. And you're all set to go. I hope this video was helpful. And if so, please push the thumbs up sign to say that you liked it.